Burnout among nurses is raising nationwide, and across New York, frontline workers says the crisis is getting worse. In this package, I speak with two nurses and a union leader who explain how understaffing, heavy patient loads, and emotional strain are reshaping the profession and what it means for patient care.
My name is Mildred Remy Jocelyn. I'm a nurse, and I've been a nurse since 2003.
And what inspired you to originally become a nurse?
I have a brother, and my brother wasn't born deaf, and he had become deaf because of typhoid fever, and he doesn't speak, he speaks only sign language. So it's only me and him, and then we spoke sign language. But I was always curious why that fever make him unable to be treated in Haiti, and what was the cause. And that's when I really wanted to become a nurse, taking care of people.
My name is Jessica Davison. I've been working as a nurse for 3.5 years. I actually have Crohn's disease, so that brought me into the field. When I was a kid, I spent a lot of time in the hospital, and that made me want to be a nurse. I've been on a surgical oncology and kidney transplant floor the whole time I've done nursing, so that's been the 3.5 years. When I was upstate in school, I did the maternity and psych rotations and everything, but landed here.
I did med surge, bariatrics, I did hospice, I did med surge and kidneys, I did psych, I did visiting nursing, I guess I experienced all type of nursing. I work in the vicinity of Pilgrim State, but my actual location it's for Oasis. It's a state facility as well. It's really things that I don't think that like regular people seen. It's like a family member who have a demon that they are fighting it. That's the real challenges. Like you go for the treatment for 28 days, and then you go back to the same environment, and then after that you come back, not even after 3 or 4 days, and see that patient again, for the same thing. And sometimes we have to change our environment when you are being treated for, like something like that, and not be able to turn around and then make a decision, okay, I sleep again. So you fall and you get up. But the main challenging is seeing a patient that's being discharged and did really great with the program, and then come back after 2 weeks for the same thing again. Oh yes, like this morning, I really feel like quitting. And I said, that's it. I need at least 2 or 3 months of vacation until I return. I return back. And because of, like I said, lack of staff.
Sometimes having like a heavy assignment at work, multiple patients that need a lot of things, can definitely make you feel like you're not doing enough for your patients, and that's definitely something that takes like an emotional burden, like you're saying. But you just have to remind yourself you're doing the best you can in the situation that you're put in. So it definitely can be emotionally exhausting, but I just remind myself I'm doing the best I can. As a nurse, it kind of feels like you're always the brunt of everything. Like you said with the doctors, I can't write the prescription, so I'm here with the patient and I see that they're experiencing pain and stuff, and I reach out to the doctors. But say they're with another patient or they're in the OR, things don't happen immediately. So then the patient gets mad, and I definitely have been screamed at many, many times, which is never fun. But with the pharmacy, like, they have to verify the prescriptions. That takes time. I cannot do that myself. It just does feel like we're the brunt of a lot of problems that happen in the hospital. It happens, unfortunately, more often than you would think, but I got screamed at just the other day. The patient did have a psych history, and that usually does play a big part into it, but he gave someone his phone to be put on the charger. We returned the phone about an hour later. There was no battery on the phone, and I was screamed at that I was intentionally trying to make him mad, and I got very frightened. I am 5'6". He was a very big, tall man, and he kind of like came at me a little bit. I got frightened, actually like cried over it. It was very intimidating, and unfortunately that does happen a lot. But again, like with everything, I just came out of the room. Some of my coworkers came in, they heard him screaming and what was this all about? But you know, you just come out and talk to people, and you have other patients, and gotta move on with it.
Lack of nurses, that's one of the biggest challenges, because all these tasks has to be distributed. And when you don't have enough staff, it's chaos. Because as per your duty, there are things that night shift supposed to do, and I work nights. And I have to make sure whether there is staff or no staff that it happened. So that's one of the biggest challenges.
Sometimes based on, again, like your assignment load, if you have a couple heavy patients and you can't, someone needs pain medication and someone needs to go to the bathroom and someone else is also throwing up at the same time, you can't be all three places in once. So that definitely takes a toll, but I'm just one person. And like I said, having help at work is really good too. So asking someone else if they could help you with the tasks, just to kind of manage everything, because it is a lot.
To understand what changes needs to be made, I spoke with union leader Cynthia Walker, who discussed the issues nurses are facing on a daily basis and what the union plans to do to push for change.
Hi, my name is Cynthia Walker, and I am a union representative. I work at SUNY Downstate Medical Center as a registered nurse. I've been part of the union for ever since I came on to SUNY's Downstate Medical Center, but I became more engaged in working with the union as being as being division secretary first, and then being a clinical safe staffing, being on the co-chair of the clinical safe staffing committee, as well as being on the contract team for the last contract and also the present contract, 2023 to 2026. And also we're working on the present contract. The biggest burnout is that when we don't have staff, when we're all alone caring for our patients, and we're above our safe staffing ratios, and we have admissions coming still. Our patients are not safe because sometimes we don't have any ancillary staff like nurses and assistants or techs to help us with anything. Sometimes they're taken away for one-to-ones or whatever the case may be. So we don't have any other staff member helping us with our patients. So you can imagine if you have 6 or 7 patients and you're in a room with one patient giving out medication, doing care, incontinent care, whatever that you're doing, drawing blood, all types of interventions that you're doing inside one room. And a patient is in another room having to go to the bathroom but can't really walk steadily, has an unsteady, needs assistance, or another patient just needing pain medication, or another patient just needing something, and they're all three ringing the bell at the same time, and you can't get to them because you're doing interventions in one room. It's very difficult. So that causes burnout because you're literally going, sometimes we don't have any breaks. You're literally going, when you don't have enough staff, you're going from one room to the next room to the next room and then round back again. because you want everybody to be safe. You want to address everybody's needs, but it's only you. You're only one person. Now you work 12 hours with no break. You're tired. You're supposed to, it's mandatory that you have your break, but you couldn't get a break because who's going to cover you? All the other nurses are overwhelmed as well. To improve staffing, the Safe Staffing Clinical Committee has hired, been in the process of hiring nurses, hiring techs, and hiring nursing assistants. We have a problem with retention, though. At one point, we were not hiring. We are hiring now, but we have a problem with retention of retaining new nurses. And one of the reasons why we have a problem with retaining new nurses, I believe, is because we don't have enough nurse educators to really oversee these new nurses. I believe when you're a new nurse and you coming into the facility, you need as much of support as possible so that you get a real feel of the institution that you're working for and that they're looking out for you so you feel safe, you feel protected. If you don't, you as a new nurse, you're not going to stay there. That's my whole point. You as a new nurse have to feel safe and protected in your facility. This is a license that you just worked very hard to get. This is a job you're just coming into. You may not be a new nurse, but this is a new institution that you're at. And you want to know that that this institution is going to have your back and protect you, and they have all the measures in place to do that, or else you're not going to stay. So I believe that if we addressed our staffing issues, we still hire, and try to keep these nurses by continuing to put into place, um, as best as we can, you know, um, different areas of where how we can help these nurses.
Nurse burnout is a growing crisis, but the solutions are clear: better staffing, better support, and a system that values the people who are running it. Until then, nurses will continue carrying more than they should. I'm Aisha Monday, and this has been SBU Journalism.